This is Pamela Schneider. I'm the retail editor for Blue Book Services, and this is the Produce Reporter Week in Review. I have Greg Johnson here, our Director of Media Development, and we are talking about some of the more noteworthy stories that we had this week in the Produce Reporter, and everything comes down to oranges for me. I mean, citrus is crazy right now and continues to be crazy. Oh, you've got your props. Hey, I have a prop. I have my little jewelry bag that has some lemons, and I've been informed that this is a Cara orange, not just I thought it was a grapefruit. So yeah, everything's about citrus.
Yeah.
And
so it was our retail coverage this week was 4th of July week, and you would expect items like cherries and watermelon and berries to do really well, and they did, which was good to see. They bounced back. And you might think that it would be at the expense of citrus, and it was just barely.
Just
citrus is still
barely.
Almost 50% up year over year. Well, oranges are. Limes, I did a story this week on imported citrus, and Mexican limes are way above last year, year over year right now, coming to the U.S. It's just it's a citrus explosion.
It is, and it's really, when you look at it big picture, and if you look at it from the weeks before the pandemic started, citrus was actually down, or at least navel oranges. Navel oranges were negative 3% year over year on sales the week of March 1st. And then that first week they started to creep up, and then that second week they crept up a little bit more, and then it was like, I think they even hit close to 80% higher year over year sales. And it's not just in the produce department. Orange juice is up 20%. For the frozen concentrate orange juice, that was one that kind of shocks me, because that's one that's been losing market share for a while. Right. You know, if you ask Florida citrus growers, the orange juice deal has been just brutal the last couple of years. So it's really been an injection into the standard plain old orange market that has been an unexpected boon. Anna Marie and I talked this week in a video that we posted today about some of the other ways that retailers can take this immunity boost, just gangbusters sales for oranges, and how can we translate it to other departments? Because there's a couple of sleepers in there. The watercress is up 40% year over year. Obviously someone knows that watercress is really good for you, but why doesn't everyone?
They love watercress and egg salad sandwiches.
Watercress and egg salad sandwiches, yes, if we're going to have high tea. I like it. I could get behind it, but
for the
that's
tea
also
interval.
When I was at the Southeast Produce Council's show back in February, B&W growers had one of the my favorite things that I tried there was actually a cold pressed watercress juice. I think that was what it was. It was delicious. So there's that immunity bunch at Bolthouse juice actually at PMA. Remember, they dropped like 20 new varieties of those shot type juices that are an immunity boost type shot. Right. So any kind of immunity booster. I know Diorigo Brothers was promoting broccoli rabe as an immunity boost. I think we need to see an end cap of immunity or even social media posts about fruits and vegetables that boost immunity, just to ride the coattails of this vitamin C thing for oranges.
Well, you've written recently about the items that have higher vitamin C than oranges, but those don't really grab consumers' attention. I think maybe we need to give the people what they think they want.
What do you think they want?
So what? So what if strawberries have higher vitamin C? That's not what we think of strawberries for. That's what we think of citrus for.
So you just want to let citrus have all of the spotlighted, and let's promote other stuff on other things. No, I say we should promote everything. Everything that's an immunity boost needs to get a little piece of this pie, not at the expense of oranges, but as a, fruit salad of immunity. Why can't we all just get along here?
We can't be everything to everyone.
What's our next topic here? Food service?
Yeah, PMA's Foodservice Expo is next week, and it's going virtual. So the first virtual convention trip from PMA, and it will be very exciting. You gave a preview this week of what it'll look like. and I know you're going to be moderating a panel during the education program. So what
No,
are you
I'm not.
looking
I'm
forward to
actually
about?
being the person. I'm the speaker. It's not a panel. It's
Oh,
just
not a panel. Sorry, I thought you were pushing other people around. It's all you.
it's all me. No, so yes, food service. Here's the thing about that is that in the 15 years that I've been a trade media person for the produce industry, I've not gotten that sweet trip to Monterey to hang out and talk about amazing food. I've been to the Organic Produce Summit. That's great. But I've never been to the food service show. So this year, of course, I get COVIDed. Is that even a
COVID, yeah.
coroned? I got coroned. Anyway, but I did get an opportunity to speak on Friday to talk about innovations in fresh produce and especially retail and how those can translate over to food service and how food service operators can tap some of those trends that we see taking over at the grocery level. And then I also got a backstage view of the platform that Foodservice Delivered will be on, and just to give people some advice on how they can maximize their trip. And instead of, I didn't want to draw too many comparisons between United Fresh Live and Foodservice Delivered because they're different shows and they have different purposes. It's not a huge expo function for food service, and from what I've heard, because I've never been there, the expo isn't the biggest thing for PMA food service. One of the things that you need to do if you're going to go to the show is just go ahead and go log in and set your profile up, because the coolest thing that I saw when I went through this tour was that you can actually see who else is online and go chat them directly. So if you go into the networking tab, you can actually see all the other people there, which is kind of what I missed from United Fresh Live, because you could only see them when you did the coffee talks and things like that.
Right. Yeah, having gone to about 15 PMA food service shows in Monterey, it is a very networking type event, both on-site and off-site. It's such a wonderful restaurant area that a lot of people do a lot of entertaining, and so many people live near there because it's so close to Salinas and Watsonville. It's an incredibly unique show, and it's a real shame. Even ironically, this week, the governor of California shut down restaurants, which is where this was going to be in California. So it is a virtual time for restaurants, unfortunately. Last year, one of the things that they talked about that I thought was interesting and kind of ahead of the curve, talking about how important takeout was becoming and how younger consumers have this expectation that takeout will be the same experience as dining in, when that's a completely ridiculous expectation because food degrades, obviously. But takeout is going to be even bigger right now because if restaurants want to stay open, they can't, a lot of places, they can't have people in their dining rooms. And if they can, it's at very low levels, below profit levels. So it's got to be taken out. It's got to travel. They've got to figure out ways of making the products good 15, 20 minutes from now.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest challenges. And, as we're seeing more restaurants have to close down for COVID reasons, like here in Texas, we had bars close back down and they're looking at shutdowns again here. We're going to start seeing some more restaurants just not make it through. A lot of them were holding on by the skin of their teeth, hoping that this would all blow over. And it doesn't appear that it's blowing over as quickly as we had hoped. So we'll be watching for more of those, unfortunately. In other restaurant news, we had an interesting article, or just, a press release come from Wendy's Canada. And they are actually launching all the way across Canada greenhouse lettuce, and they're starting with the Star Group's whole leaf farms. Their inspired greens are going to go on burgers and in salads, I'm guessing, and it's part of their all Canada menu where they've got Canadian potatoes, Canadian greenhouse tomatoes, and now Canadian lettuce, and I'm assuming their cucumbers are also Canadian as well. I thought that was a really fascinating idea to go. That it shows you just how much the lettuce deal has grown, especially in greenhouses over the last couple of years.
It is. Local is a huge deal, and it's cool to see Canada, who's such a pioneer in greenhouses, really lead the way. And I hope we see more of this. I mean, we've been waiting to see if things like lettuce and strawberries can start to get economies of scale to compete with the field-grown competitors like tomatoes and peppers and cucumbers have done. I hope we're not far away. It'd be really nice because more local for more people is better. It's better for everything. So there's fresher produce, travels less in storage. I think it's a wonderful story. And we covered greenhouses in our last print issue of Blueprints, and talked to a lot of Canadian people about what the trends are there.
Yeah, and definitely seeing alternative crops going into greenhouses. I can remember the first time I had, greenhouse lettuce. It's not anything that's new, but just the scale of it is growing so fast, especially with a lot of these urban greenhouses that are going in across the continent, not just Canada. So to see and to be able to supply all of the Wendy's stores. Of course, Wendy's Canada is not as big as Wendy's in the US. There's, almost 400 stores in Canada. That's still a lot of volume, and to be able to guarantee that amount of volume shows how much it's grown.
It's impressive, yeah.
All right, well, that's it for the Produce Reporter Week in Review. Greg's gonna dial in from vacation next week, lucky dog. I will be covering the PMA Foodservice Delivered, play a little golf. Elevation.
Let's take it in.
If you are not getting the Produce Reporter newsletter, you need to go to producebluebook.com and sign up.